Here it is, called Pat's Place. It's located in Stuttgart, Arkansas, and it's a nice little place. It really is. They have so many awards for the kinds of food they serve here. And from what I understand, they came in #2 in the best restaurant in Arkansas, small restaurant in Arkansas, in a small town. Welcome to Pat's Place. I love this place. They had the best food I ever ate in a small restaurant. I'm serious. Now here's her award walls. All of these for best place, best dessert, best overall. All kinds of good stuff here. Yeah, we're gonna have to meet Pat. I like this. You walk in, they got the menu right there. I like that. Now there's a Thanksgiving dinner at a restaurant. Look at the thickness of that turkey. That's cornbread dressing, and of course cranberry sauce, cheese and broccoli, green beans, mashed potatoes with brown gravy, and I'm going to have some giblet gravy coming for the turkey. Good stuff. Well, that was good. Now for dessert. Grandma's going to have some pecan pie with ice cream. And wifey, she's already eaten her pecan pie with nothing on top. How boring. That's a pecan pie. Look at the thickness of that. These are all homemade right here. Old Pat does a great job. And there it is. And Grandma's going to get hers. Ooh, look at that, Grandma.
Some more coffee?
You like that? She's not very smiley today.
And water?
Yeah, I would like a cup of coffee. Thank you very much.
Do you need creamer? Oh,
Yes. I'm going to dig into that puppy. Now see, this is the way to serve pumpkin pie. It's hot, and it's got a real good cinnamon taste to it. Oh, and pumpkin taste. Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Pat, the owner of the restaurant, and she is eating a piece of her pumpkin. She finally got a chance to sit down. You've been working for almost 2 days straight, haven't you?
Yes, 3.
3 days straight, getting ready for Thanksgiving, huh?
Yes.
She just now sat down. What time did you start today?
7:30.
Oh my gosh, 7:30, and it's 2:15 right now. Just this is the first chance since we've been here she's had a chance to even sit down. Well, you rest up, hon. You deserve it, okay?
Okay.
All right. So we're going to say goodbye to Pat, and this is her brother Jerry. He came down and had lunch with us today too, Thanksgiving dinner. Now here's who Pat is. Pat is the daughter of great-grandma's deceased brother. So this is her aunt, right?
Right.
There you go.
Favorite.
And we're going to see her favorite aunt, right? Good dinner. Thank you very much, Pat. You did an outstanding job. Once more, folks, Pat's Place. Well, we're heading home from Stuttgart. That's where Pat's restaurant was, as I've said. Now, Stuttgart, its mantra is the duck capital and the rice capital of the world. And Stuttgart does have a ton of ducks. And these are the rice fields on the right, rice fields on the left. They're all kind of flooded right now. We had some pretty big rains. It's the end of the season. All kinds of rice is produced down in this part of the country. For those of you who keep up with my Mish-Mash videos, you know I took this Airline 6214 chassis last Mish-Mash video and I sunk it down in a kitty litter box full of evapo-rust. Of course, I took off the transformers. You know, we don't want to mess those up. Probably would not have messed them up, but I'm not going to take a chance. You know, the audio output transformer, there was a power supply choke that had to come out. Anyway, it's doing its job. You can see how dark it's getting. Yesterday it was clear, and it's been about 24 hours. A Mish-Mash video or two ago, I went ahead and converted this Hammerlin HQ129X over to a diode setup in place of the tube rectifier to cut down on heat. And you know, people mentioned, they said, well, you know, you lost resistance, you know, when you did that. So what's going to happen is your voltage, your output voltage from your power supply is going to be higher. Yeah, I was aware of that. The whole idea was to show you how to do this. And then, of course, the second part will be to replace the resistance that was lost. And right now we're running about 52 volts too high utilizing this right here. And you know, it's the same thing when you remove a slitting rectifier from a portable radio or AA5 or whatever. You're going to lose resistance. You got to put it back, otherwise your voltage will run too high, your B+. And in some cases, the voltage on your tube filaments will be too high. You got to be very careful, in particular on those portable radios that only use like 1 and 3 volt filaments. So, you know, that was old news to me. I was aware of it, but I just wanted to show you this. And as soon as Brendan gets back on his feet, we're going to do some corresponding about exactly how to replace that resistance a different way from what it would be done normally. I probably won't be able to do it that way, but I want to discuss it with Brendan first. And meanwhile, you know, till that's all done, what we're going to do is give you a little demo one more time on the advantages of having a loop and a variable loop antenna, adjustable loop antenna, or tunable loop antenna, whatever you want to call it. Now this is what it sounds. I want you to hear. I'm going to take these 2 wires loose right here. I've got my antenna back up in my tree for my general coverage receiver business. Now we'll go ahead and turn up the volume.
Where I belong.
I want you to listen to the hash in the background.
Leads us to question God over and over again. We
Hear
need to
that
learn
hash?
God knows what's best for us, and we need to allow God
All right,
to do.
let's go ahead and remove our wires from the external antenna outside. Hook up our ground. Now hook up our positive side. Now we'll turn up the volume again.
Maybe today we need to pray, God, help my unbelief.
Almost no
Because when
hash.
we
See
really
how it
believe
decreased it?
that
And I
God
could probably
can
get
do
even
it,
less
and
by
God
moving
has
the
power
antenna
to
back
do
and
it.
forth.
God has the ability to overcome all our doubts and fears.
Not hardly as
God
much as
gives us
before.
the victory that we've been looking for.
Isn't that cool?
So maybe today,
So these antennas will tune
pray.
out hash and static and things of that nature. But keep in mind, it's only for the broadcast band.
difficulties today, we face trials.
You know, this year's yard work that I always plan prior to winter may not get completely done. I may have to wait till the spring. It's done nothing but rain. This is the 3rd solid day of rain that we've had in Arkansas. Everything is soaked. I mean, the ground is just saturated, water everywhere. And this is what's causing it. All this rain coming up out of Texas through Oklahoma, just completely saturating the state of Arkansas. I don't know. I know that some of you around the United States wish you had some of that rain. So I wish you had some too. Look at that. There's almost no rain in the rest of the states. Well, let's see how our turkey radio chassis is doing here. Removing the rust. Alright, let's see what's going to happen here. It's been soaking for about 5 days. Well, it doesn't look too bad. The thing I was primarily interested in was these controls, the volume and the I think it's the tone control, the on-off switch volume and tone control. They look like they're pretty rusty still. I don't know. Let's lift it up and find out. Oh, that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. That one there's not too bad either. Well, it looks like it's doing a pretty good job there. So I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and let it soak for another day or two. Just let it do its thing and see what happens. I also decided to go ahead and soak the tuner in a cut down milk jug with some of the evapo-rust. And that's sitting down. It's been there only about a day. It didn't have a whole lot of rust on it, but enough that I wanted to get it removed. We'll take a look at that in a couple days. Well, I think the old tuner has soaked long enough. I think what we'll do is take this baby out of here, put it in the old sink and give her a good wash down with hot water and see what happens. Well, it removed almost all of the rust, but we still have some more to go on this side, so I think what I better do is put her back in and let her soak. And while I'm doing that, I think I'll put the this transformer only has one clamshell on the top. The bottom of the transformer was never covered as part of the design, so this thing here is really rusty. Wow. I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and soak that along with this at the same time. We'll give that, this thing's going to need at least I'd say at least a week of soaking. That is some really deep rust. Alright, back in the old hole she goes. I'll let her soak for another day or two. I think then we'll go ahead and stick the old clamshell. Let me see. I think I'll put the clamshell in this way, so it's completely covered, and put it in lengthways. Well, let's see what happens. Well, I think it's time to remove the chassis from the kitty litter box. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it out by the side of the house. I'm going to set it on a piece of plexiglass I have out there that's mounted on top of some pieces of 2x4. And we're just going to go ahead and hit this with the hose and give it a good rinse down top and bottom. You know, a fine misty rinse, not some forceful spray. And we're going to rinse all this stuff off of there. Look at the color of that. Boy, it really took a lot of that rust off. Well, here we go. Give it a good rinse. You don't have to give it a complete shower for an hour and a half, but at least that's what they say. I've never used this stuff before, like I said. We'll give her a good rinse down. I think that should just about do it for the top. Let's get the bottom. I noticed the chassis still got some kind of a rust film on it, but I took my fingers and rubbed it, and it kind of went away. Let's see if I can show you what I'm talking about here. See right there? It's kind of got a little rusty film, but if I rub it with my fingers, it kind of takes some of it away. But we'll find out. I may have to wind up putting this back in for a couple more days. What the heck? It's not costing me any elbow grease. Well, as I thought, there is a little bit of rust. It's taken off, what, 99.9% of it. But, according to the instructions on this evapo-rust, you should take a brush and kind of help it a little bit. Once it's soaked for a while and got the majority of rust off, go ahead and take a little bit of rust, and a little bit of the evapo-rust, and then kind of brush the entire surface with it all around, and then put it back in, and that's supposed to get rid of all the rest of it. So we'll see what happens. But that'll all have to be next time. I think we need to just kind of wrap this up right here. It doesn't look like I'm going to hear from Brendan for a few more days. And I'd like to get this video fired out there. So I think I'll just say until next time, this is John.